on Facebook.
Welcome to Young Life Perception Podcast, folks. The podcast dedicated to and influenced by the youth. I am your host, Stephen Quinn. You can follow me on Twitter at Caddy Quinn. That's at CADDYQUINN. We got Kyle Winsor on the show, slamming us with military knowledge. You won't want to miss this. All you kids thinking about going into the military, this one's for you. So stick around. Here we go. Welcome to Young Life Perception Podcast. Start it again. God damn it. I can never get it right. All right, folks, we're live. Young Life Perception Podcast. We're with Kyle Winsor. Can I say your last name?
Yeah.
Kyle W.
It's a little too late now, but
Kyle GW, right? Or is it
R?
I did my research. What's up, guys? I'm Stephen Quinn. I'm here with Cody as well. Say hi to the fans, Cody.
Hi, fans.
He's actually very excited for this podcast. Basically, if you want to find us on Twitter, you can follow us at Team Young Life P. You can check us out on Facebook as well. You can also check us out on YouTube. All those links will be on our Twitter and our homepage at younglifeperception.com. We also post blogs, Cody and I, each
Week.
twice a week, one each. That's at younglifeperception.wordpress.com. Now that all that shit's out of the way, the boring stuff, we're on to the good stuff. We brought Kyle Winsor on the podcast to talk about his military experience. We got lots of questions for you, and I'm sure all the 18-year-olds that are watching right now, probably like 50 of them live watching. Dogs barking.
Someone just broke in the house.
End of the world. Luckily, we got a military guy here, so we'll be all right.
Just cry chop him.
So, Cody,
Yes, sir.
what kind of questions you got for this bad motherfucker? I had to swear just to make it explicit.
All right. Well, before we get
Is that
into
comfortable?
all of the stuff about the Army and everything, Kyle, I think you should start off by giving us some background information.
Tell
about
us
yourself.
a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, as he said earlier, my name's Kyle Winsor.
Mm-hmm.
I joined the military in 2010.
Yeah.
That was a good goal.
Yo, this isn't a job interview.
Yeah, the old man kind of forced it on me, and it kept growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Kept sounding like a good idea.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I was kind of being a shithead,
I kind of remember that.
and my dad was like, "You need to join the military. Get some values in you." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever." Brushed it off, and then a week later, I went down to the basement and told him, I was like, "Hey, joining the Army. I leave in a month." And then I went to work.
Shit.
And then I went to work for third shift.
Wow. So you just like fucking came down there and just let it all out. It's like, oh yeah, I'm leaving in a month. Peace.
Yep.
What'd he say?
He didn't have anything to say.
Proud of you, boy. Let's celebrate.
No,
That was
well,
pretty stereotypical.
yeah. White trash. No, he definitely was proud because he's a prior Marine.
Oh, I see. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, well,
That's. I guess I should have assumed that. Every time I went over there, he's fucking yelling at us. I'm scared as shit.
everyone's scared of my dad. He's such a
Until he
dick.
walked out of the bathroom, I was like, he's like this little ass dude with glasses. Dude, he sounded like a big bad motherfucker. I was like, you and Cody were laughing, and I was like, I was freaking out. I was like, is this guy gonna come out with a fucking machete or something? He comes out, he's got big glasses on. He's just like,
stares at you.
yeah. And then I was like smirking. He's like, Why are you laughing? That was a pretty funny moment.
Yeah.
But no one here knows what we're talking
There's
about.
a lot of funny things at his expense.
Yeah, I guess so.
So
Shit.
you went downstairs. You told your dad you're going into the Army, left for third shift, and then that day came where you actually had to go to the Army. And what kind of preparations did you have to do? There's training that you have to go into.
Well, they say that it's optional. You can either enroll in the what's it called? It's basically where you just do like soldier training before you actually go into basic.
Mm-hmm.
So like you do PT like I think once a week or twice a week. Like you'll go to the recruiting station or you'll go to your local MEPS station and you'll do PT with a lot of the like sergeants and everyone that works at that station.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or in other soon to be soldiers.
And you said that's just an option?
It's an option, yeah. He told me I could do it, but I was pretty lazy at the time, and I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple options you can do to gain rank before you join. You can do a PT
I've heard
test.
about that.
Yeah, you can do a physical training test, and it's a 2-mile run, which you have to complete. Like say someone of my stature, you'd have to complete that in under 15 minutes and 55 seconds or something like that.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah. That's actually really easy now for
Is
me,
it?
but at the time, like I ran it in 18 minutes. It was horrible.
Yeah, and you got actually pretty good at running. What you told me one day you ran a really long distance in a really good time.
Me and one of my NCOs, we ran
NCO?
non-commissioned officer.
Oh, okay.
We ran
Slamming you with the vocab.
we ran about 6 miles in 35 minutes, which
Damn.
was absolutely outrageous.
Jesus.
I almost vomited afterwards.
I don't even know if I could complete 2 miles right now.
2 miles, I stopped like my first time because I would ride BMX all the time. Like I considered myself an athletic person. Like
Yeah, so
like
do
because
I.
I did diving, I rode BMX and all that. But when it came to the 2 mile run, I ran it in 18 minutes and 30 seconds, which was absolutely horrible. It would be considered a fail on the PT test.
9.5 minute mile.
Yeah, and, and it was just so bad. But my recruiter, he just wiped it off. He was like, you know what? I think you ran that in about 15 minutes.
Nice.
So he helped me out a little bit because I just dominated the push-ups and sit-ups.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the
They
other
have
portion.
maxes on that? Or no?
No, there's no
thought they had
max.
a max on, like,
there's
pull-ups or
100%. We don't have pull in the Army. We have 2 mile run, push-ups, and sit-ups.
Oh, I see.
And for someone my age, 22 years old, and like my body weight, 180 pounds, you have to get 100%. You have to do, I believe, 83 sit-ups in 2 minutes to get 100% on that category, and then you have to do 78 push-ups in 2 minutes in order to get 100%.
Was there guys there that trained before they got there pretty hard? That
Before
you knew about?
before basic.
Yeah. Like, were there guys that came in, like,
I could
really
tell.
fucking prepared?
Yeah. Well, they came in like physically prepared. They didn't
And then
come in
there's just
mentally
some
prepared.
that are like,
yeah,
they're running.
The fat bodies, dude. I hate fat people now.
you
So
hear that?
when you look back on this now, what do you feel like you could have done to better prepare yourself, both mentally and physically?
Mentally, like I still had a little bit of help. My I consider him my brother. He helped me a little bit mentally, telling me what to prepare myself for, like what kind of tactics or what the drill sergeants are going to throw at you to try and make you break. And he prepared me a little bit for that, but physically I did nothing to prepare myself, and I wish I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Especially in the running aspect. I mean, I hate running to this day, but I mean, my best 2 mile run is 12 minutes and 45 seconds, which is
Not bad.
really
at all.
good.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is really good, but I still hate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing about running. No matter how much you train at it, it always sucks.
It's always a bother. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like running at all, really. I
For sure.
I bike and stuff, but I don't run.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, not doing any preparation, that was probably really stressful on your body when you first started.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Like the your first 3 weeks of basic, you just constantly get smoked. And when I say smoked, it's like the drill sergeant is punishing you.
Yeah.
So he's making you do sit-ups, he's making you do push-ups, like a number of calisthenics that would put serious strain on your body.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just do that day in and day out for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you're expected to take a pre-PT test. You take 2 pre-PT tests before your actual final one that counts. And the first one, it's half. So you run 1 mile instead of 2 miles, do push-ups for 1 minute instead of 2 minutes, and sit-ups for 1 minute instead of 2 minutes.
Okay.
But even
so
then...
you're just trying to get your body ready.
Yeah, but even then, like, your body is just so trashed. Like, there was some people there that were in better condition than me and myself. Like, I would do normally probably like 80 to 90 push-ups in 2 minutes. But in the 1 minute time, like, I was probably hardly doing 35.
Really?
Like, my body was just so dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it...
did it eventually... I'm guessing it eventually got a lot better. I mean, did you... I don't know if this is a question for earlier, like later on. Just stop me if it is.
Okay.
Like, so you had to do all these workouts then. Are you going to talk about, like, maybe your workout throughout the whole time being there? Like, when you went to South Korea, did you still have a very strict, like, diet and workout routine, or is it more laid back?
It's more laid back in a sense. Like, they say in basic, like, wait until you get to the real army. Like, so basic training, technically, you're not technically in the army, even though you're wearing the uniform.
Yeah.
You're talking the talk, walking the walk, all that.
Yeah.
They don't consider it the real army until you get to your first unit.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, things were still intense in a way. Like, you still got smoked if you messed up. PT, like, every morning was still really hard because you were, you just trained so hard. Like, if you are with, like, an infantry unit and training with them, like, it's so much more difference of PT in the morning compared to, like, someone that is just like a technician or something like that in the army.
Oh, I see.
So like 2 different branches that do 2 different things.
Yeah, they're all in the army.
Yeah.
But, like, they will do PT a different way just because it's not as expected of them. Like, someone in the infantry, it's expected of you to push harder, be stronger. Just like when you get in those situations and you have to, like, carry your buddy 100 meters, like, you have to have that physical endurance.
Yeah,
but that isn't necessarily needed with someone that stands behind a laptop all day.
Yeah,
for sure.
That makes sense.
So after you got used to it, would you say that the army was a high stress job, or was it more of a laid back?
It was an extremely high stress job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There was points in Korea where we had no clue when we were getting off. Like, I remember one time I was working for like 48 hours straight.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, swallow that one.
And you had like some shifts that were like,
huh?
All the 18-year-olds are going to listen to this. They're like, I'm going to army. It's just like Call of Duty. Yeah. I'll just rush fools.
It's nothing like Call of Duty at all.
Man,
absolutely nothing.
Funny.
I mean, I kind of had that expectations too. Like, you know,
everybody
I'd be going in and doing some badass training and stuff like that, which I did. I did do a lot of really, really sweet training.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't as often as I figured it would be.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Man, so 20 years old, you get shipped over to Korea. I remember you would tell me sometimes you had shifts that were 24 straight hours.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that is insane to me. I work 10 hours and I bitch and complain about it.
I know it does.
Add another 14 to that and
yeah.
Wow. That is a lot. I don't even think I could do that, man.
Those definitely, they sucked, but you get used to them after a while. Like,
yeah,
you'll be able to go like 16 or 18 straight hours, but then like right before the sun comes up, like you'll be really tired at like 4 o'clock in the morning, but then everyone in the barracks is waking up to go to PT in the morning. So I mean that wakes you up.
Gotcha.
And that
okay.
Gets you a little bit like your second wind.
Yeah.
Nice.
But 3 to 4. Like 2 to 4 a.m. is probably the worst time ever.
So did you come up with a routine while you were in South Korea? Like, was it like a daily routine you would run through almost every day, or was it very sporadic in what you did?
It was pretty basic routine. Like, generally, it would stay the same. I mean, sometimes it would fluctuate with, like, if you had to do different types of training. But most of the time, you'd wake up in the morning. I see we woke up. I had to wake up at 5:30 because we had PT at 6 in the morning. We do PT for an hour and a half, and then you go back to your room. You have an hour and a half to change, shower, get breakfast, everything like that. Then you go and meet in the motor pool, which is just a huge fenced-in area where you keep all your equipment.
Okay.
Like your vehicles, your connexes, which are just big storage containers.
Okay.
You go down there, and every Monday it's called Motor Pool Madness. And you have to do maintenance on all the vehicles, make sure they're running properly and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think Dalton has to do a lot of that stuff, a lot of maintenance stuff.
Yeah.
But other than Mondays, it's just pretty routine. It just depends on what type of work is needed down at the motor pool. Like sometimes everyone in the military is soldier first and like a janitor second. Like, you become expert at cleaning.
God damn it.
And gardening work.
What
Nice.
about like mechanic stuff? You have to do a lot of that. You have to learn like basic mechanic.
It's
shit.
basic mechanic stuff. Like there's certain things when it comes to your truck that you have to take care of. But
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Then when it comes to like harder stuff, when it comes to engine and all that, then you take it to the garage and the mechanics do it.
I don't know if you saw it, but they did like a funny like trailer of the new Call of Duty, like a new Call of Duty. It was just supposed to be funny. They're like, it's so realistic, and it's just showing a lot of soldiers like sitting around like on a crate, just like whistling.
Yeah.
And it shows like you have to repair shit. Like it's like the new Call of Duty. It's like it's so realistic, and it's just like people repairing shit and doing like cleaning.
Yeah. Pulling weeds.
So you kind of got a routine down and everything. You basically day by day knew what to expect for the most part. But what were some things you did for fun? Yeah, I know that you can get like a routine down every day, but you can't do the same exact thing every day.
Right.
There had to be some fun stuff that you got to do.
Well, in Korea, there's a lot of fun stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like that being my first duty station, it sucked and it was pretty nice at the same time just because it was my first, like, it's considered a deployment because you're going overseas.
Right.
But, I mean, you sign up, like a person like me, like I signed up just for the purpose to deploy, and they sent me to Korea. So I was pretty bummed about that. But when I got there, it was a lot of fun. Like, the main way of transportation is just train, taking that everywhere, which, I mean, is kind of a bother, especially when everything's in Korean.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
That's
that would
crazy.
suck.
And
Dude,
I
that's
remember,
definitely an experience right there.
Yeah. And I remember you telling me one time you went out partying or something, and then you woke up in a hotel and you had no idea where you were.
Yeah, like I was so
And
I was so
different
far down
language.
south.
Man, in different language, couldn't really communicate that well with the people.
Yeah, I mean, I knew a little bit, but
Were you ever scared as shit?
yeah, that morning I woke up.
I would be scared as shit. I'd be like, oh god.
I was hungover as all hell, and I wake up and I walk outside, and there's like, it's not quite the city. Like, I was on the outskirts of the city, so I wake up and there's just like cornfields everywhere, and then there's city behind me. Like, there was just like one road that divided it. Like, they will plant corn or any type of vegetation like that you can eat anywhere they possibly can.
I see.
Like, I saw there like a huge concrete wall, and there was like a curb, like maybe 1.5 feet wide, like a curb of grass. You know what I'm saying? And they had planted 2 rows of corn right there.
Wow.
So like here it'd
In
be
the
like
city.
some flowers or something.
Yeah.
Or a little patch of lawn.
Yeah.
But there's this corn.
Yeah, in the middle of the city.
The mailman's just like on a horse or something.
They have
Grabs a piece of
cars.
corn. Puts the mail in the box. Do they even have mailboxes? Do they have mail?
They had most of the people, they didn't have houses. They just lived in like huge like New York type like if you picture New York and it's just a bunch of like hotels, but like they're
Like
all
Hey Arnold's house kind of?
they're all I don't know.
So it's like a bunch of they're all
a bunch
connected.
of apartments.
Or
A bunch
they
of
have a
apartments.
little tiny gap in between them.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of windows.
There's really small rooms. Like there'll be like some huge skyscrapers. Like I think at least 30 or 40 stories tall. It's just all apartments.
I see.
Wow.
And it houses a lot of people. Like they're so stacked together.
Yeah,
Wow.
they live very small.
Very small. Yeah.
So you had all of these crazy nights, and I'm sure that you had a group of buddies that you went out with on a regular basis. So would you say that the Army actually opened the doorway for you to make like long-term friendships?
The people that you become friends with in the military, unlike any other friends. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can say like you got your buddies back home and everything like that, like your boys and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But like in my MOS, like with the people that I met with, like if a certain situation arose, I would have to depend on them. Like
Yeah.
I'd have to put my life in their hands.
Right.
So like you create such a different bond between people
Yeah.
that you wouldn't in a normal civilian life.
Gotcha.
I was thinking about that today too when I was thinking about this podcast and what I was going to ask and things like that. And that's one of my questions it's like it has to be completely different from, you hanging out with Cody and you hanging out with like your squad or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and for that exact reason, like they're protecting you, you're protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
And like you kind of turn into, would you say like a family sort of?
Oh, definitely.
Like you feel like a family.
Definitely. I mean, when I was in Fort Drum, that was my last duty station. It was definitely a family with our like little tight knit group. Like we had our NCOs. Like we all lived in the same barracks. Like we were no more than 20 feet living away from each other. Like we all lived in the same hall.
Nice.
So we were like a nice tight knit group. We'd always party together and all that fun stuff.
Crack jokes,
Yeah.
relieve some stress.
Yeah.
Nice, dude. That's sweet. So this whole experience has obviously had a profound impact on your life. How would you say that it has helped you in a positive way?
Well, I can say that before I joined the military, I didn't have the type of skills that I would consider necessary for like living in an everyday life.
Yeah.
I didn't have the drive to do anything that I felt like I would know that it would be important to me and I would want to do it, but I wouldn't have the drive to do it.
Right. Okay.
And now the military has given me that, like, oh, there's a goal that I want and I'm going to go get it.
It's helped you become self-motivated.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Nice. So obviously every positive comes with a negative.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say that you didn't like about it?
A lot.
This might actually be the fun part.
There was a lot that I didn't like about it.
Well, you got to share with the viewers.
I didn't like, sometimes there would be people that were younger than me, but were in charge of me.
Gotcha.
Like I hated a lot of officers, a lot of them. We call them butter bars. That's like the first. Okay, when it gets to the ranking system, like a private is the lowest ranking system in the enlisted world, but a second lieutenant, or excuse me, first lieutenant is second lieutenant. I'm fucking it up.
It's all right, man. It's just a podcast.
Yeah, is the lowest person in the officer world. And so those are the people that just came out of school. Like they have no military experience. Even though they're an officer and they're in charge of a whole bunch of people, they have no experience like with the soldiers and anything like that. So they fuck up a lot.
So did they pass tests to get in that spot?
Yeah, it's just like going to like an academy, like a school, like military school, and then you enlisting in the military.
I see. I just need to say real quick, I'm sorry for the viewers right now that my camera keeps fucking up, but I don't have, the greatest laptop in the world. So, I mean, I'm getting a new one, so it should be fixed, but every once in a while I see it kind of, like glitch or whatever. So
yeah, whatever.
I'm just letting you guys know so you don't freak out and like chat us up and be like, it's glitching. But feel free to drop a question for Kyle. We'll be doing those at the end. I think we have 5 people now? Mm-hmm. Look at that. That's
we
kind
had
of cool.
6 at one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Some people left. Douchebags.
So How about the connection with your friends and family back home from being in the Army? Did that suffer, or did it?
Most of it picked right back up where it left off. But I mean, some of it was a little awkward at first.
Yeah.
Just because being away, like I probably was only home maybe 30 days in like 2 years.
Right. So a lot of stuff changed while you were gone.
A lot of stuff changed. Like I changed, they changed.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my little cousins are everyone getting older, everyone getting bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Just changes.
Yeah. So it's was it almost like a shock when you got back?
Yeah, definitely. Especially when I came back from Korea. It was a huge shock.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to that culture over there and everything being in a different language and it smelling absolutely horrible.
Right.
Like that
That's
place.
what I've heard.
Like they have their like rivers are also their sewer systems.
That's what it's like in Indonesia too.
Yeah.
My dad was just telling me about that today.
It's absolutely
That
disgusting.
like you just see it washing by, and like when they go in and eat, they dunk their right hand in a bowl of water, and they put the food in their mouth with the right hand.
Yeah, because they wipe
And
their
this
ass with their hand.
Yeah, the left hand is for your ass. You wipe your ass with the left hand.
It's the same thing with the Hajis over in
You know what
Afghanistan.
I'm thinking? We need to send some of these people that are all over Twitter bitching about their lives. Like, we need to like put them in a group and like put them in a plane
And then
and
be like,
drop them off there for a little while and then have them come back.
Or you can just tell them to wipe their ass with their hand for a couple weeks and be like, how do you like it?
Yeah. Gross. I would not like that. I can promise you that.
Oh, no. Definitely not.
I probably
And there
wouldn't
were
mind.
some bad places in Korea, man. Like those bathrooms are not tidy.
Right. No
Those
customer
bathrooms
service.
It was like the nicest way you could have said it.
Yeah.
Those were not tidy.
Like they, I don't know if this is appropriate to speak of on air, or like
We don't give a
online, but
shit, okay?
like there was this
Literally.
one.
No
there's this-
pun intended.
There's this one stalls, like we were out on a field exercise in like buttfuck Egypt of Korea, and there's this like little outhouse, like it looks like a wigwam type thing. Like it was probably had like maybe 10 shitters in it in total, and it
wigwam.
wasn't.
Wigwam.
That's what I thought of, primitive culture. But anyways, like they didn't have a toilet in there. It was no toilet. It was a hole in the ground about like this big around, and the only thing that was there was like a little piece of porcelain, like only like this tall, and it just had like a little curve on it. That was the only thing that you would
Plop.
shit into. Yeah, and there was a lot of people that can't aim. A lot. Just everywhere.
So every time my mom bitches about me not being able to aim right and fucking up the toilet, I could just be like, why don't you go to South Korea?
Yeah, be like, Mom, it's
Spend
just
a week there, Mom.
Yeah.
That's how you like it.
It's just a little
Stop
pee.
bitching.
No, but that was out in the field. But like in the hotels that like the nicest hotels, they had like those things in over in Europe that splash your ass.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that.
I was
I
never
don't understand
daring
why we
enough.
don't do that here.
I was never daring enough to try it. It was this huge machine. Like it wasn't a normal toilet. It was like a contraption. Like I felt like it would just like lock me
It's like
in.
a fire hose.
Yeah.
Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, I felt like I had to like strap myself in, and just water just shoots up in my ass.
Dude, I heard Joe Rogan said those are actually really nice. And he doesn't understand why they're not here.
I know. I would never try it. I was too scared. And most of the time when I went in the hotel rooms, I was so freaking hammered drunk, and that tells you a lot. Like if I wasn't well enough to try it drunk or hungover, then I was not trusting those
You just
things.
didn't want to get sprayed in the ass.
So,
Those Korean girls are freaky enough.
yeah.
We'll get into that.
So what would you say is the most important lesson you've learned from being shipped overseas, from being at a base in the U.S., from all of these different experiences that you've encountered? What's the number one lesson that you've learned?
Don't talk back.
Yeah.
That gets you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
A lot of trouble. Like you could talk back to your mom and dad, hey, do the dishes. No, screw you, Dad. That doesn't fly in the Army.
Yeah.
You do that shit or else you're getting your ass smoked for a good long while.
So it taught you how to kind of do what you're told and not really.
Respect
That's
authority.
I mean,
almost-
there's do what you're told to a degree. Like you can
Yeah.
bring logic into what you're like. There are certain things that our NCOs would tell us to do, and would just be like, well, this is a much simpler and more efficient way to do this. Like, in a sense, like that way, more like logically, but like not like, fuck no, I'm not going to do that. Go screw you. Fuck off.
Right.
I mean, I said that one time to an NCO, but I learned my lesson.
Yeah. Was that early on in your career?
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, he just pissed me off. We were doing a lot of things down in the motor pool that were unnecessary, that didn't have to be done.
So it's just like a job.
Yeah, well, more or less like a worse job. Like the worst job ever. And you were just doing pointless, tedious bullshit. And I just had enough of it. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. This is dumb. I'm not doing this anymore. And then my first sergeant got really mad at me.
I've done that at a job before.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would last in the Army.
I'm
just the type of person that's just like, I'm not fucking doing it. Sorry.
I got smoked for 12 hours straight one time. That was in basic training.
Wow.
Smoked for 12 hours. This dude's just doing calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, running around the buildings.
For 12 hours.
12 hours, the whole day. Yep. I had a bloody nose. They worked us so hard that, like, during push-ups, I just started having a bloody nose, and I went all over the drill pad. And my drill sergeant yelled at me. He's like, Winsor, what the fuck are you doing bleeding on my drill pad? Go clean yourself up. And so I had to go
You call yourself a soldier?
I had to go run up to the barracks, stiff tissue in my nose, come back down, and finish getting smoked.
Wow. Maybe we should all go through that shit.
Like, there's just some stuff that you can't get around. Like, it's the suck. Like, a lot of people, like, you got to get used to the suck.
Mm-hmm.
That's a term that a lot of military people use.
Gotcha.
The suck, yeah.
The suck.
These kids are writing this shit down. All the ones that go on to go in the Army, all this vocab you're giving them. They'll be experienced as hell when they get in there.
Did things end up playing out a little bit differently than what you thought they would be, you know, after basics and then you got in the Army? Did you have certain expectations that weren't met, or did you underestimate the responsibility it was going to be?
I did have expectations that didn't get met, like, especially when I went to Korea. Excuse me.
There's none of that on this podcast.
Anyways, like, a lot of the training I didn't get that I was hoping to get when I went to Korea. Like, that set me back so far. Like, when I went to Fort Drum, New York, like, because they do training a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So not getting the training that was necessary in Korea really set me back for when I got to my next duty station.
Gotcha.
So that kind of sucked. But, I mean, I still got to blow stuff up and call in a lot of bombs and all that. So that was awesome.
Hopefully we get into that a little bit later, too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into the South Korean chicks and then some blowing up shit.
You didn't blow up South Korean chicks, though, did you?
He's like,
no comment.
I didn't blow a traditional bomb at them, but...
Oh, God. I'm going to have to make sure I rate this before I put it on iTunes.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any advice to those who maybe want to enlist?
If you are going to enlist, definitely prepare yourself for basic training. A lot of the drill sergeants, they are just trying to make you quit. So, I mean, one thing that you got to always keep in mind is it can't last forever. There is going to be a time where it ends. Like, that's the mentality you have to take when you go to basic. Like, all right, yeah, it sucks right now. We're getting smoked and we're getting in a lot of trouble, this and that, but it will end. Like, they have to let you sleep.
Right.
There's always going to be a time where it ends. So
it's not for the weak-hearted or the weak-minded.
No. Like, they're going to yell in your face. They're going to scream at you. Unfortunately, they can't hit people anymore. Like, when that was my last, like, my company was the last company that was able to, like, actually get hit by drill sergeants. They don't allow that anymore.
Did you ever get hit by a drill
You
sergeant?
used to get hit?
Yeah. In basic, yeah.
I didn't know that.
In basic, I got hit a couple times.
Like, hit how?
Like smacked in the back of the head.
face?
Like right in the back of the head.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
and they also, like, throw you to the ground and stuff like
you
that.
dummy, Winsor?
But you get certain revenges, like, in basic. Like, you get to, when you do combatives, like, you can challenge your drill sergeants. And I did. I put one of my...
Was that a big mistake, or?
One of them it was, yeah. Because we both ended up kneeing each other in the nuts. so that sucked. But
Ooh.
yeah, it was really bad. But one of my drill sergeants, I put him in an arm bar, so that was pretty sweet.
Oh, dude, that'd be sweet.
And he was like a level 3 combative, which is like supposed to be pretty good.
What's the highest?
I think level 3 combative is the highest.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Did he tell you that you got lucky?
Mm-mm.
Nice.
Good job, Winsor. No running for you tonight. An extra
We'll
candy
smoke
bar.
your ass tomorrow, boy.
Extra candy bar at lunchtime.
Yeah, you just gotta keep.
Dude, that kind of reminds. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say you just gotta keep your head up and keep trucking because there's gonna be a lot of times where it sucks. Like especially in South Carolina where I was, like it's just sandy as all hell. And when you got to go on ruck marches, it's your feet like it's like every step you take is like half a step. Like you're going 2 steps forward and 1 step back for how sandy it is.
Oh yeah,
how deep it is.
It is hard to run in sand.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like you were talking about level 3 combatant and stuff like that. What kind of martial arts did they teach you?
In Korea, I got taught Taekwondo, but in the normal army, they just teach you like combatives, which is like a combination of like ground and pound and stuff like that.
So like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a combination of stuff like
That's
that.
what I was wondering. I didn't know what kind of stuff they taught you there.
Mm-hmm.
Like fighting wise.
It's just mostly like a lot of it's defensive, like getting out of situations.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What about like gun training? Like what kind of guns did you get to shoot?
I got to shoot a lot of guns, and that was like really cool. Seeing how I'm such like an outdoors person, I got to shoot grenade launcher, well M203.
Dude, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, it's like that big of a shell. You just and like that big around, just thunk. I had to shoot that. I had an M16, shot an M16, M4, 50 caliber, 249. What else did I shoot? I shot an AT4, which is like a rocket launcher.
Oh man,
That was awesome.
it'd be kind of cool to shoot a javelin or something.
Yeah, it wasn't a javelin. It was just like an AT4.
I know, but I was just saying.
You know what
it'd be
AT4
cool.
is from Call of Duty.
Probably.
Yeah.
If I saw one, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
That's
was
pretty
one.
sweet.
Yeah.
What about grenades?
Yep, definitely
Oh,
threw quite a few grenades.
How is
pretty
that set up? Like, couldn't someone fuck up?
cool. The way they do it, like in basic, they give you 2 grenades, and they're in little canisters. Like they come in like a single canister just for 1 grenade, and they have you hold it to your chest, and they do a plate check is what they call it, and they grab you by your IOTV, they pull you off the wall and slam you on the wall really hard, like really fucking hard, and to make sure you're holding onto those grenades, like they're not gonna fall out of your hands.
Yeah, because I just see someone.
And they're
be
live
like,
grenades,
ting,
too.
Ting, 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 shit!
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's happened.
Yeah.
I think that has.
And then you have to walk out to like this little pit, like it's just this little bunker in the ground. You grab your grenade, throw it, and you duck down immediately.
Dude, that'd be kind of. I think my adrenaline would be going
Yeah,
for something like that.
5
Especially
seconds
when
until that thing
is
goes
like-
off.
Yeah, and that thing in your hand will kill you,
Oh yeah,
and you're just like,
and those things like a lot of the
I don't know why I showed everybody how to do it.
they actually teach you how to. You don't throw it like a football or like a baseball. You have to like throw it over. Like
Oh
this.
yes.
That's how they teach you to throw it.
Winsor, you call that a throw?
But
I'm sorry if I'm bringing back like bad memories every time I do that. I'm not trying to.
But like a lot of the stuff, like I found out, like from the movies, like they say, like you see people like pulling this shit out with their teeth.
Yeah.
That is totally unrealistic. That shit's hard as hell to pull out.
What about like? I thought you had a little lever on it and you squeeze that.
No, it's the grenade itself, and then there's a pin that goes through it. Just like a normal pin, and then there's a handle that comes down the back.
Yeah. You
And
squeeze
when
the
you
handle,
undo
right?
the pin, you don't squeeze the handle pops off.
Oh.
It pops off, and that's what triggers the grenade.
Oh, I could have swore there was one where you held it.
But you don't as soon as you pull the pin out, you don't take the handle off. Like you throw it as one. Like you
I
don't
see.
go tink, and then you gamble with your life before throwing it.
I think it'd be fun to throw one of those German ones, the ones that were like sticks.
Those sticks, yeah. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Was there any like special stuff you got to use or anything that you thought was? What was like one thing that you thought was really awesome that you got to use? Probably the AT4 or whatever.
The AT4, well, that I got to use, was the AT4. But there's a lot of cool things that I got to do. Like I called in a 500-pound bomb from an A10. That was freaking awesome. I called in a couple of those. We got to watch direct fire, which is when like a cannon, 105 millimeter, is when they can see the target that they're shooting at. That's what direct fire is. Because cannons are mostly like indirect fire.
Is that where you can't really see the plane that well, or?
No. It's like when you're shooting at like infantry, like that type of shit.
Oh, okay.
Like cannons, they're indirect. Like they shoot up and come down. But direct fire is when they can see the target that they're shooting at, like only 1,000 meters or like 600 meters in front of them. That was really cool. And I got to shoot some mortars. That was pretty awesome. Like,
dude, that's kind of scary too.
Yeah, they had. I didn't know that they had like a trigger. Like they have two different types of mortars. Like it was a 60 millimeter mortar, but like the ones you see in movies where you hold it over the tube and it drops down and thunk, it pops out.
Yeah.
But there's another one where you can hold the tube itself, and there's a trigger down at the bottom where you squeeze it, and it's like a gun just pops off.
I mean, it always reminds me of that video I saw of like some terrorist. It was filmed, and he was throwing the mortars in there, and he just kept doing it real quick, and like the last one he put in just blew up.
Yeah, probably because the tube got so hot.
Yeah, and he put it in, they like blew away. It's called like stupid terrorist or something. Did we get any questions?
No.
All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, post them now, or else it's gonna be too late. I'm just kidding. So I basically, dude, this chair's about to break on me. I can't think of what other question I had. We'll go to the pictures now. The first picture I have is of you sitting on a tank, which I thought was pretty cool. Right there. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That was actually an AIT. AIT is where you go to learn more specific things about your job that you picked. Like I was a 13 Fox, so I was a forward observer. Like I called in rounds, blew stuff up, and all that kind of fun stuff.
Oh wow!
And like this was just a part of AIT. Like I was a holdover where like there wasn't enough room in the class that I was supposed to start with, so I had to stay there a week before I got put in an actual class. And so I had to go around and do just bullshit stuff. And I had to go work on these.
Did you ever have to? I'm sure there's probably a lot of tests, right? You have to take tests and stuff, or like study and shit like that?
For my job?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Like you spend countless hours inside of like a little room, and it's like a training simulator where you call and you use the coordinates and everything like that. And there's certain like a certain process that you have to go through like in order to call in rounds. And then
I see.
Like you just sit in front of a simulator all day, and it's actually like a screen, and it's like a video game type.
That's what I was wondering. I didn't know if you had to take like tests
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. And did you? I'm sure. I don't know if you failed.
There's a lot of tests that you gotta take. There's a lot of stuff you have to know to become 13 Fox.
That's kind of cool. I'm glad I kind of asked you about that because I wasn't too sure exactly what you were doing over there.
Yeah.
And is there a way? Do they have you take tests to figure out where you'd be better placed, or do you pick?
Yeah, you take an ASVAB, which lets you know like it's got like algebra, just a bunch of different questions that finds like by the way you answer them and stuff like that. It points like how you are, like what the type of person you'd be good at. And like it comes up with like food, like if you'd be good in the food part of the military or computer stuff and all that.
Food.
Yeah.
Is that
cooks?
Suck? So that's like the worst one, isn't it?
Dude, I felt sorry for the cooks, man.
Dude, how do you score cook? What? How do they do that part? How do you score cook?
I don't know. Just
like you didn't do well in math, reading, writing, but you answered the part about the steak really well.
Yeah.
The question with the steak is what got you.
Yeah.
In the cook area. Dude, that'd be
Do you like
part.
medium rare or rare steaks?
Well, it depends on the steak cut. And
Cook.
Charcoal or gas. All right, so we'll go to this next picture over here. Here we go. All right, we're back. All right.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit about this picture. I mean, I saw this actually a long time ago. I thought it was pretty cool. So.
That is actually the room that I'm standing in. Is the room that the North Koreans and the South Koreans will meet to talk and like talk about like agreements, disagreements, and all that.
Wow.
And so like that door that's behind me, that door is actually North Korea. Like I'm 5 feet away from the North Korean border right there.
So why is like this South Korean guy? Is there 2 buildings?
There's multiple. There's 3 buildings exactly like this.
And Kyle, make people understand the ferocity that there is between these 2 people.
Oh, they absolutely hate each other. We had a bunch of times like the North Koreans would send bombs down the river, and like all the like the villagers and the farmers and like little kids, like they'd disguise them like as toys and all that kind of stuff, and the kids would pick them up and just blow them up.
Man. And
wait,
North
so
Korea.
This is across the line then. Like this is the North Koreans blowing up kids.
Yeah.
In South Korea.
Yeah.
So
But they don't do shit about it, which pisses me off the most. Like they just kind of like
and that's
brush
why
it
you're
away.
there then.
Yeah.
Is to help the South Koreans fight back because they're not going to do it.
Well, yeah, it's to help protect them. Like the main thing that we're protecting is we call it the Gizmo, which is the Greater Metropolitan Seoul area, and like Seoul is the name of the city, like where the capital is.
Gotcha.
And like there's just like this huge line around Seoul, and we call it the Gizmo.
Nice. So
wow.
in North Korea, I remember one time you were telling me they don't allow anybody in that country that is not of
North Korean descent.
Yes.
Yeah, there is no way. Like they found like an American in there one time. I think they like beheaded him or killed him or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's only one time, and it was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's a documentary about it where some soldier ran across, and they kept him, and Kim Jong-il made him into a propaganda tool and said the United States wants to turn communism and shit like that. But yeah, you'll get shot. That's pretty crazy.
Well, there's like along the fence line of the border, there's like I think like 50 or like 100 meters on each side of just like minefields along the entire fence. Like,
damn,
there's no walking across there like in the woods or else.
Yeah, dude, this is the interesting stuff. This is like the stuff that you have to search pretty hard to like get stories about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you said at this table right here is where they talk about shit.
Yeah.
I wonder how that goes.
Yeah, I have no clue how that goes, but I know this guy told me a story like the buildings are half in the North Korean side, half in the South Korean side.
Yeah.
And there's like in between the buildings, there's little, I guess you could call them like speed bumps. They're only about like maybe like 8 inches tall of cement, just to let you know this is where the line is. You don't cross this shit.
Yeah.
And I guess one day a woman's hat flew over the border. It was like literally arm's reach over that line. Like you could go grab it. But they're like, nope, your hat's gone. It's theirs now. Like 6 inches on the other side.
So childish, you know? It seems like, don't cross that line. Like, dude, that seems so, like, not 2012. Like, come on.
There's so many things you can't do. Like, they tell you, like, when you're looking at, like, there's this huge building on the North Korean side. And they tell you, like, to not point or not do any, like, gestures towards, like, the North Koreans.
Wow.
And my buddy accidentally one time, when we were there doing the tour, he pointed at a sign that was hanging on the building. And he's like, hey, what does that mean? And as soon as he did that, like, there came out this squad of North Koreans, like, marching like Nazis. Like, that's how they marched. And just rocking AKs, and, like, a couple snipers with AKs are perched all in these buildings, just, like, come swarming out.
Do the two people,
That's scary.
do the South Koreans and North Koreans, do they look any different, or do they look like they're from the same country? Because I know they've been separated.
They look like they're from the same country a little bit. Like, the North Koreans are, like, the Koreans in general are small-ass people. Like, they're tiny. Like, but the North Koreans are a little bit smaller just because they're so deprived of food.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
The North Koreans are?
Yeah. They're so
What
deprived.
about dress? Are they sharper dressed or?
Honestly, they look like Nazis, just like with Korean shit on it.
Yeah,
and
like the way they march and shit. I think I've seen like videos of that stuff.
That picture with that dude, like those people.
You want me to go back to it?
They will literally stand at that position of attention for, I think I said 4 to 6 hours on end. Like, they will not move at all. They won't move from that position. Like, and they're telling us if you want to go up and take a picture with them, don't stand too close to them, or they will let you know. Like, if you stand too close to them, they'll kind of like push you off. Like they'll be like push you away. Like, no, this is too close, dude. Back up. And I would be scared of those dudes. Those are like SF motherfuckers for the South Koreans.
SF.
What does that mean?
Special forces.
Oh, okay.
So they would kill you with their bare hands.
Exactly. Yes. And like,
I think I heard someone say that they would punch you. Like if you tried to walk past them, he'd just fucking clock you.
I don't know.
Just like,
whoosh. But like the building, they like on the outsides of the building, they won't stand like in perfect view of North Korea. Like they'll stand with only a quarter of their body and like one eye peeking around the corner, just in case like sniper fire comes or whatever and shoots like one of the South Korean guards.
So they're just basically ready the entire time for an all-out war to break out.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty much what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's pretty crazy, man. So they allow anybody to kind of like visit, or
It's only with like what is it called? I guess like if you have like a travel group or something like that, like a group goes, like you can't take like your family up there for a vacation and be like, I want to see the North Korean border. Yeah,
let's tease them a little.
No, you can't do that.
Take my picture.
Actually I have a picture of this bridge. It's called the Bridge of No Return. And like if you cross over that bridge, then literally you can't come back into South Korea. And it's just like this bridge that just looks just horrible. Like, holy shit, I don't want to get near that bridge.
Wow.
That's kind of intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing it's a pretty scary thing knowing that if you cross a line, you're just gonna get sniped.
Yeah.
Like that's insane. It just seems so childish to me. What about your thoughts on that? Like what do you think when you see that stuff? What were you thinking when you were over there? Like
I was like, let's go, North Korea, bring it. Let's
Really?
fucking do this shit.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I probably would have been dead because the post that I was at was only like it was 10 miles away from the border. Like we were the closest U.S. post to the North Korean border. So basically, we would have just been like a speed bump. Like we'd have got fucked up.
Yeah. So you said, "Let's go North Korea." Were you having those thoughts like?
We almost went to war with them when I was over there, because they
I think I heard about that. And I was like, damn, Kyle's over there right now.
They bombed an island on the west side of Korea, and they said it was a training exercise gone wrong. But like, that was the night that I was awake for like 48 hours, like no sleep.
Ready.
Yep. Because we
How
were
do you
battle ready.
fight when you've been awake for 48 hours?
Dude, you just have so much adrenaline going, and it's just you're rock ready to go.
Yeah.
You're
I mean,
just
you've
like,
been
fuck
sitting
yeah.
around for so long that you get to that point where you're just like, I want to see some action.
Yeah. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, there's a point where we were sitting listening to the radios, and my first sergeant was like, all right, either you're going to hear these freaking rockets go off, which were all in post. Like, there's a shitload of MLRS, which is multi-launch rocket systems. It's just these huge pods that shoot rockets off. Like, I think they have 6 on a Humvee, and then they have other ones that have 9. Just 9 rockets all in one vehicle that will shoot out.
Damn.
He's like, you're either going to hear that or you're going to hear, like, freaking Delta or something like that over the radio. And then shit's ready to pop off.
Right.
Dude, that's crazy. Did we get any questions or?
Nope, we did not. So
Wow, that's kind of shitty.
yeah. Oh well.
I mean, I guess we're not giving away free shit. So.
And also, it's like way later than we said we were gonna do it. Too,
yeah,
so.
it's like pretty late. But yeah, do you have any more questions for him? Do you
No,
have
I
anything
mean-
you want to say? What else do you want to say? Anything you have to get off your chest on this podcast, feel free to do it.
Well, if you are going to join the military, then you better be fucking prepared.
right. All right.
That's some good advice right there.
Yeah.
That was pretty hardcore. You better fucking prepare. Oh, shit. So basically, you know, run, do sit-ups, push-ups, shit like that.
Yeah, yep,
and
definitely.
be ready to, like, fight North Koreans.
Well, not generally North Koreans. I mean, if we go back to war, or not back to war, but if anything pops off with like Iran or Syria, like, because I was supposed to deploy to Africa at one point when I was up in New York, but if anything pops off with like Syria or Iran, then I'm definitely joining back up, and I encourage kids to join up too because it's fun. Not kids, but if you're 18,
Yeah.
join. It's fun stuff.
So you think it'd be fun to be over in Syria?
Oh, definitely, dude. That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to Afghanistan or Iraq. Well, not Iraq anymore.
So you wanted to see some action.
Oh, yeah. That's what I joined for.
Yeah, some kids, I mean, they probably join and then they have a change of heart or a change of mind.
Yeah.
And not want to do that, but
like, I did the training. Like, I was prepared. Like, you go through all the training to go deploy and go, for less of words, kill people.
Yeah. So do you feel like
you want to, like, after you've done all that training, like, I put in all this fucking work to do this.
So did you have that mentality before you went in there? Or
No.
It did that, like...
It developed.
Yeah, so you...
So they probably have it instilled in you. They know how to do that.
Yeah, probably.
They turned you into a killing machine.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, how do you feel right now?
Pretty calm.
I didn't mean to act like your drill sergeant every once in a while. Don't kill me or anything.
All right. Well,
pretty much
I think
we hit an hour.
for
It's
sure.
pretty good.
Yep.
It's hours long
Did it
enough.
feel like an hour?
No, it didn't. But I think, yeah, no.
But I think, yeah, no. Windsor!
And that was another weird thing to get used to, coming back home and not being in the military, being called by my first name.
Oh,
Like,
yeah?
sometimes you just, like, someone would say, "Hey, Kyle, what's up?" And what?
I guess I have one more question.
Uh-huh.
Did any kind of pranks happen to you that you're just like, shit? Like, anything? Like, everybody sees movies and sees, like, Marines doing really
Yeah.
horrible shit to each other.
Uh,
Should anybody prepare for some of that shit to happen?
well, one time we were out in the field, and my buddies, with the MREs come with a heater, and you just put water in it, and it creates heat. And you can, like, also comes with hot sauce packets, and you can make a mini, I guess, like, gas bomb. If you put all the hot sauce, like, you get probably 10 or 12 heaters from the MREs, and then you put it in, like, a bottle, and you put some hot sauce in it and water, shake it up, and it just goes big boom, and they put it in our tent, and so that kind of sucked. It was like tear gas.
Jesus.
Yeah, that kind of fucking
I could
sucked.
see you doing all that shit, though. Because when you were here, you always loved to, like, fuck around and do crazy shit all the time. So I could see you, like, inventing new shit with hot sauce and hot water shit.
Yeah, one time with one of my NCOs, he told us never to sleep in the tent during the daytime. And, well, that dumbass decided to stay up all night and monitor the radios when he didn't have to. Mm-hmm. Like, no one told him to do it. And so he went and slept in the tents. And we had one of these old radios, like one of the radios that you turn to get power.
Yeah.
Like, you have to crank it up, the electricity, to get power. And we took it was pretty much speaker wire, and we attached it to the radio and then left the other two ends open. And we put one in his hand, or one in his left hand, one in his right hand. And I was outside the tent, and my buddy was like, "All right, go." And I just started cranking it, and it just zapped the shit out of him and woke him.
Oh, God.
And he, like, Spartan kicks my buddy in the chest.
Oh.
Damn. Dude, it sounds like a bunch. I mean, if you're going to have all those dudes that just got done, like, getting buff as shit, and they're bored as fuck
Yeah.
in one tent, I see a lot of shit going down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get bored of shit, and, like, one time we had our laptops out in the field. This was in Korea. We watched the entire, like, all the episodes of Pokemon. That's how bored we were, dude. We just sat in the back of the Humvee. It was cold as shit, and just sat there on my buddy's laptop and watched every episode of Pokemon.
That's funny.
Yeah, so
That's
if
funny.
you guys want to join the military and watch unlimited episodes of Pokemon, enlist.
Yes. All right, Steve, where can they find us?
You can find us at Team Young Life P. That's on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter, I guess,
Yep.
for all the latest news and all the events going on in the exciting Young Life Perception podcast journey, I guess. We're also on YouTube. This video right here is going to be on YouTube, so you can watch it commercial free. You just have to type in Young Life Perception and you'll find it. You can check us out on our website, www.younglifeperception.com. That's where our audio podcasts are. And I forgot to mention in the beginning, if you want someone on the show like we brought Kyle on, just shoot us an email at younglifeperception@hotmail.com. Or you can go to our website and submit a guest form. It's actually really easy to do. And we also are open to any kind of topics that people want to bring up. So that's kind of a cool thing we do to make it fan interactive. And you can also check out our blog, younglifeperception.wordpress.com, and we post about twice a week.
And lastly, I want to thank Kyle Winsor for being on our show today. It was a pleasure, sure.
Sure.
Pleasure,
Sure.
A pleasure, sure.
That's the mics we're using.
Yeah, sure.
But, yeah, I just want to say thanks for coming on the podcast. It was a lot of fun, and you enlightened us on a lot of things I didn't know about, so that's always pretty cool.
For sure.
You know, because I have my stereotypes about the Army, so
Yeah.
and some of them are crushed. So yeah, I appreciate you coming on. It was fun. And with that being said, is there anything you would like to say? Any places for the ladies to contact you now that your buff is shit?
I live in Holt.
All right,
All
Cody.
right. We are the Young Life Perception.
We out, bitches.
We're out.
Peace.